Good morning, everybody. I wanted to show you a lesson on qualitative and quantitative observations. Let me pull up my Google Classroom and let's look at viewing it. So, as a scientist, you're going to want to be able to communicate what you see out in the world. So let's say you come across an unidentified plant, which you're going to do later on in this lesson. You want to be able to use language that can help you. That's my cat. Oops. That can help you to clearly explain what you see, to identify objects or some natural phenomenon like a lightning strike or the wind from a big hurricane. And you want to be able to use language that other people can understand. So a lot of the times we use tools such as, rulers or balances or thermometers to measure temperature. So when we're making observations, we use two types of observations. One are qualitative and some are quantitative. So qualitative ones, the quality ones, the ones that don't have the word quant, which means measurements, the qualitative ones are the ones you use with your five senses. Okay, so we can use our nose to smell things, or in science we do what's called wafting. We'll use our hands to feel something. We'll use our eyes to look, and color we can look at, and we can look at it, even the size, and make a generalization. And we can hear things like bubbling of a chemical experiment. But the quantitative observations are the ones where you use rulers, or in my case, a measuring tape. You might use a timer, or you might use a balance, or you might use a thermometer to measure the temperature. There are many quantitative measurements that you can make. So quantitative, if you notice the word quant, that means quantity. Quantity means numbers. So anytime you're using something that has numbers, such as the measurement on a ruler is numbers, the measurement of time is numbers, all of those are quantitative observations. So if I say the plant is 5 millimeters in length, well, that's a small plant, but that is still a quantitative observation. So first thing I want you to do is take a look at this exercise, and you can take your time on doing it. You're going to think about what an ant looks like. And you're going to make a drawing from memory what an ant looks like. And then I want you to go ahead and list 3 questions about what an ant really looks like. Does an ant have eyes? I wonder how much an ant weighs. I wonder what colors do they come in. Those are my ant questions. You can make any questions you'd like about an ant. So that will help you to start thinking about how to determine observations in the world. So that's going to be your first activity. Your second activity is going to be putting into practice what your skills are for observing. So we're not going to use the taste one, but we're going to smell our plant. We're going to look at our plant. We're going to listen and hear if it makes any noises. And then we're going to touch it to see if it has any type of texture. Okay, so then your next the activity that you're going to do is you're going to list your observations. So, for example, in number 1, if I were to put observation, my plant here is green. If I put my plant is green, I've done that with my sense of sight. If I take a smell, if I go ahead and smell my plant, the plant has no smell. And what sense? That was the sense of smell. I might feel my plant. My plant's leaves feel smooth. I am feeling a smooth plant. So that would be my sense of touch. I'm going to make another observation. I'm going to listen to it. It's the sound the plant makes is it sounds flimsy. So I'm going to use the sense of hearing for that one. So you're going to go back and repeat that for 10 times. So you're going to have 2 observations for sight, 2 observations for smell, 2 observations for hearing, 2 observations for touch. So that will bring you to 8. Don't worry about numbers 9 and 10. We'll do that later. So those are going to be your qualitative observations. Now you're going to go in and do quantitative ones. So I happen to have a measuring tape, okay? And I'm going to get out of my thing. I have a measuring tape. And my measuring tape is going to take a measurement of the height of the plant. So my plant's pretty tall here, okay? And I'm going to do it in centimeters. So centimeters are going to be, if you look at the PowerPoint, centimeters have the big, large numbers. And my plant happens to measure, wow, 45 centimeters in height. That's pretty high. So I would write down on here, on your PowerPoint, 45 centimeters in height. The length of a leaf. So I'm going to take my measuring thing, and my measuring tape, and I'm going to measure how long the length of the leaf is. And in this case, it's 21 centimeters. So I looked at this side down here at the bottom, and I used that bottom side for our centimeters, not the top. We're not doing inches, we're doing centimeters. Then I wanted to do the width of a leaf. Now that's hard because it's small, so we've got to do the width, and the width is going to be not even it's going to be 1 millimeter in length. So I would record those on my sheet. So now you've observed a plant. Now you don't have to do a plant in your house. You could go outside and do a plant in your garden, or maybe you have grass outside. You can do grass. You could do a bush. You could do a tree, although it's going to be hard to do the tree. You can't really but you could at least do leaves on a tree if they're low enough. But you want to choose something outside. Okay, so next time we get together, we're going to talk about how these observations help us to identify unknown substances. Take care. Bye.